Welcome to the Two Cripples, One Pair of Legs podcast, where every fortnight, your hosts, Adam Sheppard and Natasha Price, take a long, hard look at the world through the eyes of two people who believe in grabbing life by the balls and squeezing tighter than Borat in a Mankini. The good, the bad, the often cringeworthy, but most importantly, the hilarity that can, and often does, ensue. If you're looking for fluffy sunshine and rainbows, My Little Pony meets Care Bears type of purity, you've probably come to the wrong place. If you're after good conversation, warped humour, quick wit, a touch of sarcasm, two proud people with disabilities with the no holes barred, leave no stump unturned outlook on life, welcome home.
We've got a pretty special guest with us today.
I'm a bit excited.
Hi, Sal.
Hi.
Hi. So for anybody watching, anybody listening right now, we have the incredible Sally Pearson with us, and we'll introduce her properly in just a second. But how's your week been, Adam?
About the same as yours, actually.
Yeah, I know. We've spent all our time together. We say this every week.
Yeah, I know.
And I ask you how you're going, and I already know the answer.
It's kind of our typical greeting.
It is.
And yeah, I'll start. But no, it's been good. We've had a good week.
We have had a good week.
You've had an awesome week. I'm kind of jealous.
Oh, I know. I got my brand new wheelchair yesterday, and holy shit, I'm excited. As you can see, this is one pretty motherfucker.
Now we've got the lower table. You can actually see it too.
I know, right?
Hiding.
But I feel so tall. Like I am so much higher in my chair. It's ridiculous.
Show off.
I know. Hey, you're getting yours soon, so
I know. Well, I'll be taller than that one too. I'll be taller than I am now. Yeah.
Because hey, you've got no chance of being tall the height you are, love.
I'll go home and I'll be able to look at Fletch and go, I'm taller than you again.
I don't think you're going to be getting leg extenders anytime soon, though.
No, probably not. No, go gadget.
Go gadget legs.
I was going to say gadget legs, but I haven't got legs.
No, so
yeah.
you've got no bloody chance.
Yeah.
All right, anyway, we're going to get into this pretty quickly today because we want to have a decent amount of time interviewing Sally. So, the water cooler.
The water cooler. Oh, yeah. I bet
you might
I'll actually
press
play
the button.
The water cooler.
Does that make you want to go to the toilet? Because it does with us. I know. Every time we hear it, both of us go, oh, we probably should have gone to the bathroom before doing this.
So the water cooler is our generally our first section where we interview people. And
it's meant to be around the water cooler in the office kind of thing.
Yeah, like a water cooler chat kind of.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, I'm going to do your bio, Sal. I have stolen this off your website, you'll be pleased to know. So hopefully it's correct.
I don't even remember the last time I was on my website.
I'm a bit like that. Sally Pearson is one of Australia's greatest Olympians and regarded as the nation's most successful track athlete of all time. It was at Beijing 2008 when Sally made her Olympic debut in the 100-metre hurdles, creating history when she claimed silver behind USA's Dawn Harper. Sally's silver medal marked the first time in 40 years that an Australian won a medal in the hurdles. And my insulin pump is screaming at me, so that's always
I told you not to die on us in this one, please.
No, it's going the other way this time.
I don't know first aid, I'm sorry.
Yeah, SARS. If you die, well, you deal with it. At the 2012 London Olympic Games, Sally became just the 10th female track athlete, Australian track athlete, Jesus Christ, to win a gold medal in the 100-metre hurdles, smashing the Olympic medal. For God's sake. Spit your words out, Natasha. Smashing the Olympic record in the process, a record she still holds to this day. In 2014, Sally was maybe doing this with high sugars isn't a good idea. Slow down. In 2014, Sally was bestowed Australia's highest individual honour when she was awarded the Order of Australia for her contribution to sport. Her story is one of triumph, adversity and heartache, with career-threatening injuries conspiring against her. She was set to defend her Olympic gold medal title and Olympic record before a serious hamstring injury forced her out of the Rio 2016 Games. Against all odds, she cemented her legacy as the greatest Australian athlete of all time when she mounted the comeback of the decade, coaching herself to win the 2017 World Championship in London. The Australian track queen retired as reigning world champion in 2019 and is now a local sports reporter, which is pretty cool.
Presenter.
Presenter.
The reporters do all the work.
Yeah, okay. Presenter. You get the cool job.
I get the cool job.
But welcome. Thanks for hanging out with us today. This is super cool.
I was pretty honoured when you guys asked me.
Look.
I was a bit nervous too because today we went to the track, didn't we? And I said, so what am I in for?
Oh, you're in for hell. No, I'm joking.
We'll look after you. Can I just say your reaction, I will, after the silver, will go down as literally, there's never been a sporting moment, a reaction like that I remember as good. And it'd take a bloody big effort to surpass that, I think. Like, that'll go down in history as one of the best, or if not the best.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was... It's funny, I don't know how you guys have ever trained or as an athlete when you're training and you build up all this sort of anticipation before a competition and then you know you're in good shape, but it's just about seeing whether you can deliver on the day and you know what your goals are and you want to achieve them. Obviously, there's a lot of uncontrollables around it, but when you finally realise what you were aiming for has come true, it's just like, holy shit, that just actually happened. And it's like you are seriously dreaming. And I had, it was like an out of body experience really. And I'm the sort of person that I do wear my heart on my sleeve.
Yeah.
So, but when I'm racing, I'm very much focused. You might have noticed sometimes when I'm racing, I look quite serious or nervous as some people put it, but I'm actually having the time of my life because inside there is a party going on.
You're in the zone.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But I've got my poker face on because, you know, I'm trying to focus because if I let my emotions out, I'd be exhausted because there's so much going on in your head and in your body. You're nervous, you're twitchy, you're focused in your brain, and then you cross that finish line, and whatever the result is, that's emotion just pouring out of you.
Yeah.
So we don't really want to go over too much old ground today. I mean, people have spoken about your sports career with you a hell of a lot, but there is like one thing that I wanted to ask, and certainly what you just said leads into it. When you won Olympic gold and you knew you'd broken an Olympic record, did you feel a sense of relief knowing that you actually managed to achieve that goal?
Yeah, I think so. It's so, as much as I look excited after that race, I think it was more just like, oh, thank God. I think it's like Christmas. The build up, the anticipation is so exciting. The day comes, you're like, oh, I can't be fucked.
Yes, exactly right.
It's kind of, and I, as much as I wanted to be there, the race is exciting. The anticipation, I mean, the build up right until you race. Like, the race is great. The before the race is great. And afterwards, it's just like, all right, that's done. Let's go home now. You know, I've ticked it off. I would never change it, obviously. It's, you know, you're Olympic champion. It's the best feeling in the world. But because you were the favourite, you're expected to win. Your own expectations, you're there to win, and you've done it. It's just like, okay, I'm glad I've got that done.
Yeah. Can't even imagine what that pressure's like because, you know, you know, for better or for worse, you have, you know, the weight of the world on your shoulders, the weight of the country on your shoulders.
Yeah, you certainly do, but I think I thrive off that.
Yeah.
I like it because I only like it when I believe it as well.
Yes.
So I think you have first and foremost you have to have that self-belief before anybody else. Because if you're going in there and you're injured or you just know you haven't done the work for this, and then you still have the weight of the country on your shoulders, then you're just like, no, this is not right.
Yeah. and you end up falling to pieces because of that anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you've always been a short distance runner, hurdles, that kind of thing. What's prompted you to do a marathon?
I don't know. I don't know what
are you seriously questioning those life choices right
now? I did my longest ever run yesterday and it was 25 minutes.
Yeah. And how far was that
13
distance?
minutes in, I'm like, oh my God, I've still got so far to go. And every minute, and it was like, I remember the times, it was 13 minutes and 50 seconds. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, okay, I'm running along again. Fuck, 14:50. Oh my God, you got to be kidding me.
Clock watching.
Very different.
It was. Sometimes it goes really fast, but once you start that clock watching, it takes a long time, and I'm like, I want to go for 42 Ks doing this. I better be feeling bloody good on the day.
So after 25 minutes, how far did you manage to run?
I don't know. My
don't
coach isn't
know.
allowing me to count Ks yet. So
that's interesting.
That's kind of a good way to go, I reckon. Like,
yeah.
it takes the pressure out of your head.
I think so, because he knows how my brain will work, and it'll be I'll be counting Ks then. I'm like, I didn't go 5 Ks today. I only went like 4.5. I'd be disappointed in myself if I didn't keep achieving the same distance or bettering the distance each time.
Absolute athlete mindset.
Oh, yeah.
Absolute. I deal with that with this one as well. It's like, today we're just going to take it a little bit easy, 60, 70%.
Exactly.
What am I going to get out of that?
Exactly.
Why not just go home now?
It's called not killing yourself.
Oh, no, but that's no fun.
That's not a challenge at all.
Yeah.
Like, I want to feel tired after the session.
The good thing, though, is once you are counting Ks, you can also get to that point where okay, I've done 10 Ks, I've done 15 Ks, I've done 20 Ks. And once you get over the 20K point, you're like, okay, well, I'm halfway now. So certainly when you're marathon training, it's good to know when you've gotten over that halfway point, because once you've gotten there, you're like, okay, actually, do you know what? That wasn't that bad.
Oh, geez, I've got a long way to go. I'm not even at the 5K mark yet.
It's
tough. It is so hard. It's not as fun as sprinting either, I must admit. It's not fun, but it's keeping my mind occupied. It's keeping me fit. And that's, I guess, one of the goals. I think for me to go out and train, you saw me before I announced I was going to do marathon training. I was just doing some 2K runs every now and then. And I'm like, it's just boring. Just running around the track. I know why distance athletes like to go out on the road or go into parks or whatever and do their training, because lap after lap after lap, I couldn't do it.
See, a lot of people don't understand me, because obviously I'm essentially a marathon athlete. That's how I started off. However, I've moved into sprints now, but they don't understand the whole 100, 200, 400, and then 21K and 42K. They're like, why? Yeah, but it's because I can't bear the thought of going around the track and doing a 5K on the track or whatever, because it's boring as batshit.
It is.
Like just running in circles. Oh, forget it.
Back in the day when I was racing, I basically did 1, 2, 4 and 10K, but 10K on the road. And I did some testing with Griffith Uni with my coach at the time. And for my age, I was sort of late teens, mid to late teens. And I had a really high VO2 max. And they were like, you need to be doing middle distance. I'm like, fuck that. There is not enough money in the world to get me doing an 8 or a 1500 or a 5K on the track. Like,
because of the training side of it, or because the racing wouldn't
boring's batshit.
But the racing wouldn't take that long though. The training would be long, but the racing would be okay.
800, maybe 2 minutes or shade under 2 minutes maybe for an 8. But no, I was just like, hell no. No.
So but then how do you go from doing sprints to then doing the long distance?
It's interesting. My training is really interesting. So I spend at the moment it's all sprints. However, from this week actually we're moving back into doing a little bit of road and mixing it in with the sprints. And then from about May onwards, I focus on distance stuff for around about 3 or 4 months when I'm in marathon season. But I think it's easier for wheelchair athletes to be able to do that transition between the distance racing and the sprints. But it certainly isn't easy getting those quick fiber muscles going and just it's
easier to train for the distance than it is for the sprints, like going that way and the other way.
Distance stuff comes very going the distance comes very naturally to me, but I was always a 100-meter sprinter as a junior able-bodied athlete and did pretty well. But so it's I definitely get a lot of enjoyment out of doing sprints. I very, very much enjoy it, but it's taken me a while to get my starts right and start getting back into the swing of things. But having said that, we're only a couple of months into really focusing on the sprint training, and I'm smashing some big goals. So.
We've sort of looked at the things that needed working on and really focused. Like starts as you say are a big one, and we've been really putting good time and effort into that. And
But it's it's definitely interesting transitioning between the two. I often forget when I'm in that transition phase because the technique between distance and sprinting is very different. Your push is much longer. There's it's much more easy going when you're doing the distance stuff. So trying to remember and kind of make myself do those different things when I'm first swapping over is certainly interesting, that's for sure.
I find the same with me when I'm doing my distance running. It's I gotta remember I don't have to lift my knees up as high as what I do on the track when I'm sprinting. I don't have to pump my arms as hard.
And it's exactly the same when you're in a chair. You know, it's all about getting the power through your chest and your pecs and pushing. But if you don't have to do that quite so much in a marathon. So,
because I mean, clearly I don't know a great deal about running, but
clearly,
I have no legs. Funny that
you've never walked.
I've never walked, but the technique for a sprinter is significantly different to a marathon runner, isn't it? Like,
oh yeah, very much so.
Yeah, sort of.
Well, as you said, it's very much about power in the sprints, and for me, I think the most important part about sprinting is the start and getting your reaction right, getting your drive phase right from the blocks to about 30 meters, like keeping those positions. And you have to be so strong in those positions. Some people don't understand how strong you actually have to be a sprinter, more so in your core and your stability work. These things are so important to be able to stay stable as you're running. It's not just like, oh, they're only running 100 meters, it can't be that hard. It's like, well, actually,
people
you're going from like 0 to max velocity speed in a couple of seconds, and that takes a lot of effort to be able to do that, a lot of strength to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Marathon running, marathon training, if you can call it that yet, it's very different. I feel my body can handle it a lot more than what my breathing can. So it's very much on the lungs for me at the moment. It's about, and the mental side of it. So yesterday when I was doing my 25-minute run, I think I got to, as I said, 13 minutes. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so hard. 14 minutes. And I was counting down the minutes as they were going past. And I was like, I got to at least get to 20 minutes before I stop and walk and catch my breath. And I got to 20 minutes. I'm like, no, come on, you can do this. 5 minutes to go. 5 minutes to go.
That's that athlete mindset.
And it's that
it's
mental
mind games,
side
isn't
of
it?
it. It is.
Yeah,
And it's
absolutely.
like, you can do this. Just keep going.
Yeah.
Just go that extra meter. Go another meter until you can literally can't do it anymore.
And that will be what gets you through that marathon. Last year at Gold Coast Marathon, I had this vision in my head of having a really, really good race, and it didn't pan out that way for me. I had intense pain from about 2 Ks in, and I wanted to give up. Like, everything in me wanted to give up. My strapping that keeps my legs underneath me in my race chair broke, so my legs were dragging on the floor. It was hell. And I got to 42 Ks, but it was that whole telling myself that I needed to get to that finish line no matter what. I had to get to that 42k point, and that's what keeps you going on a marathon. It's just being focused on what your ultimate goal is, and if that's getting to the finish line, it doesn't matter what the time was. It's just getting there that's important.
All I can think about asking you is, how were your feet afterwards? Were they ripped to shreds?
No, they weren't too bad, to be honest. Luckily, I had socks on, so at least I had that, and it wasn't like they were horrendously dragging. It was more just my toenails that got a little bit cut. My toenails were a little bit shorter than they were previously.
Well, yes. At least you had some, because I think some marathon runners, they don't have toes a lot of the time.
Yeah,
they don't have toenails.
Right.
I mean, they're black and they're all mouldy. So.
Yeah.
So we should probably get in the actual questions.
Yeah.
Yep. So aside from kids, what gets you up in the morning?
That's a really good question, because I feel after I retired from athletics, it was only 3 months and we'd bought a house and got pregnant.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like I've had that point in time where it's just been me.
Yeah.
And figuring out what does get me up in the morning. So that's a really good question. I've never been asked before. So good job. Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, us interviewees are always like, oh God, they're going to ask the same question.
Yeah.
So that was a really good one.
Oh,
well done. But no, it is a question that I do ask myself sometimes, and it's I don't know. I think I really I love being here. I like being alive.
Yeah.
Funny that.
Yeah.
No,
It's enjoyable.
Yeah.
I feel like the time is going too fast. I don't. Everyone's like, oh, I wish I would just hurry up and get through the week. I'm like, don't wish that away.
no way.
Like,
Agree.
there's so many things that you could be doing, so much fun you can be having. Even if you have to go to work, yes, everybody's got to work, and sometimes it's a bit of a down, and you have those moments. But at the end of the day, you're here, you're living. Enjoy it while you
100%.
can.
And I think that's the difference when you're leading a life of passion and purpose. When you're doing something you love, it makes it very much easier to get up in the morning, and even on the shitty days, they don't feel quite so bad, and good stuff's still coming. So get more enjoyment out of life.
We talk a lot about our circle and the team around us for Tasha's athletics and the people she has around her and all that. Talk to us a little bit about your team when you were competing, and what that looked like, and who you had in your
what stage of my career, because towards the end it was very small. At the start, very big. You've always got your physio, your coach, your training partner, your massage therapist, your psychologist, and that's just 5 that you can think of. Then you have your biomechanist. There's so many people that can be a part of a team at the start, and I feel, and a nutritionist. That's great. It's a big. It can be a really big team, and sometimes I think that you can probably overthink it a little bit too much, and there can be maybe too many people in your team. But I also believe that when you're starting out, you're doing so well on an international level, but you're so young. I was 21 when I won silver in Beijing, so I was still very much a baby. And you need the guidance, you need the advice that you can get off people if they are Team Pearson or they are Team Sally. And they really have the best interests at heart. So I learned a lot at that age. I was working very well with my psychologist. We were a very, very good team, her and I. She helped me win that silver in Beijing. She helped me win gold in London. She was there allowing me to say out loud that it was okay to win. I was very humble, and in Australia it's like, oh, you're gonna you sound cocky and arrogant, like
tall poppy syndrome.
It is.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I think we need to change that narrative as well, and make it so
100%.
It's confidence, it's what I believe I can do, and this is what I want to do. It's I'm not putting anyone else down, I'm just pushing myself up to be better than what I am.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no. So going back to the team thing, that was at that very early on, there was a big team. And as I was developing as an athlete, I guess you understand a lot more. You've learnt so much from being a younger athlete. And then you move on with people in your team. You have different people around you. And it got smaller and smaller. So by the time I was coaching myself, the main people in my team were me, my husband, my training partner, Grant, and my physio. Psychologist was on and off, but very much there in the background when I needed her. I didn't need to see her every month like I was in the beginning, but definitely there when I needed her. She helped me probably in the last 5 months leading into the London World Championships in 2017 when I was coaching myself. And that was huge for me, because I was very much going on a roller coaster into those World Championships, because I'd had so much time off from competing and training through injuries that I was kind of going, I was like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen here. I know that I can do this, but I need to get myself there mentally and know that I'm going through a bit of a down here because I'm trying to figure out how to get faster. There was 3-4 people in my team max at the end, which I was very happy about, because they were the ones that had my back no matter what. They were there day in, day out for me, no matter when I needed them.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's a conversation we have a lot about it. We talk about that.
Whether I should reduce my team and get rid of you?
We're a team. Well,
I think about it often. No, I'm joking.
how are you getting to training?
Yeah, I know.
I know.
I got
You need to
to.
keep
I
him,
know.
yeah.
I got to keep him around because he's the chauffeur.
Yeah, that's all it's good for.
I should just get my little hat and show for
I know, right?
We see a lot in sport about, particularly in elite sport, people that, who've sport's been their entire life and then they retire from sport. We see, and these days I think it's getting a little bit better, but we did see a lot of people struggling with the what's next and what, because it's been so much of their life for so long. How was that transition for you when you decided to retire from the sport?
Very hard.
Yeah.
It still is. I still have moments that I just think, God, what am I good at? I feel shit at everything, sport was my life and is my life. I loved athletics and I'm going to admit it, and yes, it did define me.
Yeah.
It was who I was, and I'm not ashamed of that because I loved it so much. And everyone's like, sport shouldn't define you, your results shouldn't define you. I'm like, but they did.
Yeah.
Because that's what I worked so hard for. That was the only thing really in my life that I cared about. It was my passion, and I enjoyed it, and I loved it. And what's wrong with that? What's wrong with allowing it to define you? So I felt bad for a little while because it wasn't the thing that it should be. It shouldn't be that. And I didn't have anything else. Like I wasn't an academic. I didn't go to university. I tried it, but I wasn't very good at it, so I left. I guess to give myself some credit, I try a lot of things. I give everything a go.
Yeah.
And even though I'm nervous or I'm not great at it, I still give it a go.
Yeah.
That's important.
Absolutely.
We talk about that a lot, don't
We
we?
do.
Yeah, I think you have to, and as much as it's scary, you just have to swallow your pride a lot of the time and do it. And that's what I've had to do a lot since retiring from athletics is, okay, you're not number one in the world now, and you're going to be going into something else that you're going to be like 1,000th in the world at this. It's not going to be easy. But the thing that I think scares me the most is I'm not that 18, 19-year-old out of high school going into the workforce where everyone expects you to be not great at it.
Yeah.
I feel like there's an expectation of me to be good at something else because I was so good at sport.
Yeah.
And it's not true.
It's not that easy.
It's not that easy. And so, going into this media role with Seven, it's scary, and I've stuffed up so many times, and I've bawled my eyes out going home, like literally the snorts, crying.
You're like, I don't want anyone to see me right now.
Exactly. And then I get home, and the producer's calling me, the chief of staff's calling me to make sure I'm okay. Like, no, I'm not.
Oh, no.
I don't want to do this anymore. And I literally went inside, and my husband's hugging me, like saying it's okay. And I'm like, I'm not doing this to myself anymore. I promised myself that when I retire from athletics, I'm not going to put this pressure on myself. I don't want to feel it anymore. I hate it. I want to give up. I'm not putting the pressure on myself. I don't want pressure on in my life anymore. I'm sick of it. He goes, okay, it's fine. And then quit. I'm like, I'm going to. Next morning, I better go to work.
Yeah.
Shit.
No, but that's the thing. That shows your resilience. And that's also the athlete mindset. You keep going back because you want to be good at what you're doing and you want that challenge, and you want to have something to focus on and those goals, and you're like, okay, actually, do you know what? I'm just going to keep going and things will get better, and they will. Things
They do,
and they do. And that's just life. You keep going until because when you first started hurdling and you first started sprints, you weren't world champion then.
No, that's
you
right.
just with time got better. So it's exactly the same with anything else you do.
Yeah.
Can I just say,
yes,
there is not a person that's ever walked or rolled this earth who sucks at hurdles more than you.
Oh, I do. I suck at hurdles.
So we were training at the track, and you might see now, whenever we get to the track, I do a lap with Tash first before she does anything. And the reason for that is because a few years ago, when was it?
2019, September 2019.
September 2019, Tash was on the track doing a warm-up. Somebody had left a hurdle out on the track. And
I didn't see it.
because Tasha's visual impairment, things that come up on her really quickly she'll never see in time. So she's gone head first.
Face first.
Face first.
So below the level of where my helmet is, it's got me on the bridge of my nose.
Oh my
And
goodness.
the back wheels of the race chair have literally planted the base of the hurdle in place, with me stuck between the front of the hurdle and the base, and it's basically like me hitting a brick wall. I ended up with post-traumatic amnesia. I still have no memory of around about 2 or 3 months of my life, and I still have concussion issues this day with anxiety and stuff that I never had previously because of that. So
can I be inappropriate and say, welcome to hurdles?
Yeah, I know, right? I know. Like, I'm like, oh,
hang on.
oh God, what are you going to try and press now?
Don't make me pull out a hurdle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Fuck off, you Subway sandwich. Subway sandwich because he's only a foot long. I told you we were pretty loose.
Oh my goodness.
But seriously, you had the cut across the bridge of your nose, and I was like, are you okay? And you're like, yeah, I think I'm okay. And everything was all good. And then I'm like, you know what, let's go to the hospital and just get you checked out just to make sure. And for whatever reason, we made the call. You seemed okay, but we'd made the call to keep you in overnight just to be sure. So just really quickly, we'd missed dinner at the hospital. So you're like, let's go down.
You missed dinner at the hospital?
Yeah, missed dinner at the hospital.
Right.
That was a bit inconvenient.
Bloody tragic.
You could have done it a bit earlier. Oh, God.
You said to me, let's go down to the food court and get food down there. So I came down with you. And while we're so we went to one of the little cafes. You got a wrap. Do you remember any of this? You don't remember this?
No.
We went down and got you got a wrap, and then we're over at the coffee shop waiting for your cup of tea. You had the wrap in your hand. No, sorry, I had the wrap, and we were waiting for your tea. And the coffee shop we were just at getting your wrap was shutting, and you looked over and you're like, oh shit, I'm not going to be able to get anything now. They're shut. And we'd literally just been there.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got your tea,
shit.
went back up to the hospital room. You jumped into the hospital bed. I put your tea and the wrap on the table beside your bed.
Yeah.
And you looked at me and went, where did that come from? I thought, hello, here we go.
We got a few problems here. Anyway,
Yeah.
that shit went on for a few months.
Yes.
I won Auckland Marathon that year and have absolutely no memory of it.
Wow.
Like nothing.
That's probably a good thing then. You could get through a lot of training and not remember what you did.
I came up over the top of Auckland Harbour Bridge, and this is the only thing I remember about the race, is looking down the bridge and going, holy fuck, how did I get here? The only reason I knew what I was doing or where I was I had the lead cyclist in front of me, and I've kind of looked up and gone, okay, I'm obviously doing a marathon, so I'll just keep going.
Did you get to that point and you're like, man, I'm feeling really tired right now. Why am I so tired?
So I got up. It's 2 kilometres up the harbour bridge, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Well, I'm a bit knackered, but now I know why.
Fun times. Because at the
times.
time, probably 5 or 6 times a day, Tash was just forgetting where she was. Like, we'd be at the gym, and I'd be at one end of the gym doing something, she'd be at the other, and she'd ring me in a mad panic going, where are we and how did we get here?
So is that normal for a concussion to last that long?
That was within weeks of it actually happening, but
still, that's
it went on for 3 months at least.
Yeah. Is that normal?
I remember towards the end of the appointments I was having with the rehab specialist there, and they said, like, every concussion injury is very, very different, and they said although the head knock was quite small, it had obviously just given me a big brain rattle, and for me that was just what happened. But, everybody's different.
I had a concussion once. I fell off a fence.
Ooh.
I was in the school
That'll
grounds.
do it.
I was in the school grounds illegally when I was 10, I think. Fell off a fence. Can't remember anything still to this day of how it happened. Well, I think I fell off a fence. One person said I was tap dancing down a rocky hill. Another person said I fell off a fence.
That's a very different story.
So, I don't know which one's true because I don't remember it.
Maybe you were tap dancing whilst climbing over a fence. Who knows?
Maybe. You just never know. We were 10.
Yeah. Sounds like a fun story.
So where does your drive for success come from?
I don't know where it comes from. I think it's just in me. I don't think I've developed it. I think I've just always been like this because I remember the first time I ever really felt a drive for success was when I was 6.
Mm-hmm.
Where I was at gymnastics. And do you remember the show The Gladiators? You know,
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Back in the 90s, like the early one, the first one.
The first one, yeah.
Yeah, that was the biggest show on TV, I think, at the time. And I remember we were watching it, and then we'd go to gymnastics the next day, and the coach would be like, you know, you girls are so much better than those gladiators, and you're only 6. You could be doing exactly what those guys are doing. And I'm like, yeah, I can.
I love it.
And I just remember... I remember that day vividly, and I remember thinking, yeah, I'm going to be the best.
It's
I didn't know what
an
that
inbuilt
though.
confidence.
I think it was.
Yeah.
It really was. And I just knew from that moment on that I was going to be the best at something.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was going to be
Yeah.
because I didn't know athletics then. I was a gymnast. That's all I did. And from that day on, I've always known I was going to be good. There was moments there where I wasn't doing any sport, wasn't training. I was just naturally good at sport. But I just kept doing it.
You had that mindset
knew.
of whatever you were doing, you were gonna be the best at.
No, I didn't think I was going to be anything. Like I would play netball, or I'd play some sports at school. I was good at it, but I knew that that wasn't going to be my sport. Like I knew when I was playing something, it wasn't going to be it. And I knew that I was fast. And when I started doing little athletics, I'm like, yeah, I'm probably going to go to the Olympics for this and win it one day.
Yeah,
I just knew it.
You just knew that.
Yeah.
So as a coach, what would you say the hardest part of being a coach is?
Not having the mental control over your athlete.
I would agree. I would agree.
You can instill so much advice
Yep.
and wisdom into them, but you can't think it for them. You can't be in their brain and be that strong person when they need it.
Yeah.
They have to be that strong person. And sometimes they just can't be, and
Yeah.
they need to be upset. They need to be
Yeah.
vulnerable. They just need to cry. They need to vent. And you just want to say, no, you've got this. You can do it.
Yeah.
But you can't you can't do it for them.
Mm.
What are you
What?
looking at me for?
Hey, you were looking at me.
What would you say is the hardest thing for you, Adam, about being a coach? Just out of interest.
Do we want to go there?
Am I asking for trouble
Do
now?
we want that in alphabetical order? Or? No, it's not. No, look, I would say the toughest thing for me, in an honest
Go on.
way, would be you're an amazing athlete.
Thank you.
And
That's
I think
kind.
you are. And I think the thing I struggle with most is me telling you what the session's going to be and you just wanting to do more.
Yeah, okay.
Which I get, but there's a reason that we're doing things a certain way and all that. And,
and it's that I was very much like that
Yeah.
as well as an athlete.
Yeah.
You'd give me something, I would do exactly what you wanted me to do, but I'm like, I think I just need to do this as well. Like, are you sure that's enough? I don't know. It's just that questioning, and I feel bad for the coach as well, because I'm like, man, I am just a pushy person here, and I'm really taking. And
me.
some coaches can handle it, and some
Yeah.
can't. But I think as a coach, you need to not take it personally.
Yeah,
No, I'm not saying about you guys.
No,
but
but-
the coaches need to just understand that this is a good sign in an athlete.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Because-
Yeah.
But if you don't know that and you're taking it too personally, then you're probably not coaching the right person for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
You got to have a stronger personality than the athlete, or at least match it.
Yeah.
Because you want your athlete to be eager, you want them to be keen, but you also need to be able to explain to that athlete what and why you're doing things. And
Yeah.
if you can't do that, then you're in the wrong job.
Yeah, absolutely. We do it
And
pretty
the
well.
athlete
We
needs
do.
to understand as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
You
yeah.
need to be like,
We-
okay,
we
coach.
do. Yeah,
we had one time, and it doesn't happen often, but we're in Canberra in the gym, and I'm like, I'd really like you to be doing it this way, and she's like, well, everyone else does it this
Yeah.
way, and I was like, you know what? I don't give a fuck what everybody else does.
Yeah.
I'm your coach, you're the athlete, and yeah, I had a bit of a
hissy fit.
hissy fit, but
That's okay.
I pulled my head in pretty quickly too.
Nah. We're lucky that we have this relationship
Yeah.
where we can just be very open and
Yeah,
honest
and-
with each other. So,
Yeah.
and I think it's because we spend all of our waking hours together.
We were in 12. We were in Canberra for 12 days.
Yes.
12 days together, which included 2 days of driving at each end of that. So
Yeah, and by the
coming from the Gold Coast, and go, yes, I want to go to Canberra so bad.
can we please?
Yes,
Sorry, Canberrians.
love you, Canberra.
Actually, where we stay when we go, we don't mind too much. It's good restaurants and stuff there.
Yeah,
so
no,
at
it's
least
getting
we
better
say-
down there.
Yeah, we
it
were
is.
like 6-minute drive to the track, to the AOS
Yeah.
track, and it was pretty good, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, but so what does inclusion look like to you? Bet you've never been asked that
I was
one
worried
before.
you're going to ask me a question like this, and
And be honest, because
Yeah.
you know there's lots of people that you ask that question to, and they go, "Do you know what? I don't actually know. It's not something I've ever thought about. It's not something I've needed to think about."
No.
Or they've said, you know, there needs to be big improvements or whatever. If how do you see disability being, I guess, integrated into what you do as a coach?
Yeah.
Or, I mean, obviously you're not going to really get any wheelchair people doing hurdles, but you never
maybe.
know.
You just never know what might happen in the future.
Wheelchair limbo or something.
I think for me, being in this sport, there's always been the AWD side. AWD side, sorry.
Athletes
Tongue
with
twister.
disabilities,
Yes.
yeah.
Or para, I don't know. Is
Yeah.
it para?
Is
Either or.
Either or.
Either
yeah.
or, okay.
Yeah.
There's always been that side to the sport. So I've always been aware that there is this other side to our sport, and we all need to be respectful of one another. We all need to be understanding of our sport, that there's so many different sides to it.
Yep.
I think the thing that for me has been lacking, and that's why I like to ask questions, and I always feel awkward asking questions because I don't know.
No.
Never. We were actually we were talking
love
about
it.
this.
It's
Okay.
so cool.
Yeah.
Like,
we were
alright.
saying
We
how
do.
wonderful it is for somebody to actually show genuine interest,
Yeah.
because quite often, and as sad as this is to say, you get pigeonholed as not being quite as capable as other
Yeah.
athletes, and that's a crying shame, because
Yeah.
us paras put a hell of a lot of work into
Yeah.
our crafting our skills, and it's nice to have somebody that shows a genuine interest, who's able-bodied and really wants to know.
I do,
So,
yeah. And I think there needs to be, I want to say, education
Yep.
around it, and understanding for able-bodied athletes to
Yeah.
and people
yeah.
to understand that your side a lot more,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
if there isn't that side of it first, then we're never going to know,
Mm.
because people don't want to ask questions because they don't feel like it's their right to
Yeah.
even ask. They don't want to, I don't know, bring up any sour thoughts from
Yeah.
you guys. I don't know what
Yeah,
it is.
no,
I don't know
no.
why we feel like we can't ask a question, because
Yeah.
it's just human nature.
Exactly.
We're
That's what we
curious.
do.
We're
Yeah,
curious
exactly.
people.
100%.
We like to know about someone else and understand their point of view and what they're doing. I think it's really important. I remember at Commonwealth Games in 2014 in Glasgow. In our apartment we were staying with some wheelies, and we would sometimes get together in the lounge room and watch the games on TV. And I remember this thing. So I opened the door for one of the wheelies, and that was probably the worst thing that I could have ever done.
Really?
Yeah, because they said, and I,
Let
It
me
was
guess,
a bit
I
of an-
could do that myself. kind of
yeah, they
thing.
said,
Yeah.
well, their specific thing, they said, I hate being helped by ABs.
Oh, okay. That's
okay.
yeah. See,
And I was like, I didn't know if I was like, I felt terrible, because I'm like, I know you're more than capable to open a door,
You're just
but
being
I
polite.
would have done that for
Yeah,
anybody.
yeah.
but you know what? That's a
Even if-
really uncommon reaction.
It was it?
Yeah,
Okay.
people
Yes,
people do think. I think it's a widely held belief that that's a really popular feeling amongst people with disabilities or wheelies or whatever, and it's actually not. It's
No.
really not. We'll never begrudge anybody who offers to give us a hand or whatever. You
And
know?
that's why when we were in
yeah.
the car park,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like,
Do I ask or not?
I'm like, do I pull the boot cut door down? I don't know, but I'll offer anyway.
Sally,
because-
I could use your height right now.
and that's the thing, because of that experience that I
Experience,
had,
yeah.
I'm like, okay, I can't help these people at all.
Yeah.
Because they're definitely able to do it themselves. But I'm like, I'm a helper. I like
Yeah.
helping people. That's why I'm a coach. because
Exactly.
I like
was gonna
to
say.
I like to help people, whether you're able or not.
Yeah.
I like to be there.
And the thing is, in the disability community, just as in the able-bodied community, you're going to have some assholes. It's just life.
Of
So
course,
you're it's just, you know, human nature. Everybody sees things differently. Everybody has different opinions. For the most part, we say offer help, but don't take over. So
Yes, of course.
don't. And sadly, it happens quite often. People come and just take over and actually make our lives harder for us. But don't ever be afraid to offer someone help, because that's just polite. It's just polite whether you know somebody's an able-bodied person or not. I don't think has anything to do with it. It's just being polite.
Yeah, and I remember you telling me your experience at a competition once, and that you didn't feel seen, or you were you were there and no one saw you, no one helped you, no one even acknowledged that you were there. And I think that's another education step that we need to take, is to be aware of everybody around you and make sure that they're heard, make sure that they're listened to. And even when speaking specifically at the athletics track at training, I'm always telling people who come on the track, if you guys are trying to leave lane 3 free, like that's their lane, that's what they need to do. Like, and I try and steer clear of it all the time, because I'm always aware. And like that's just track etiquette as well. Like I'm like
100%.
And I'm like, lane 1 is for the members of the centre as well. And I'm like, got to make sure that lane's free.
Yeah,
and then because we're hurdlers, we have to take up a full lane, because we have hurdles to put in the way.
Yes.
And I hate being a hurdler because of that reason. Me and Hannah were talking about it the other day. Hannah's the athlete that I coach, and
Hello, Hannah, if you're watching.
Hey, Hannah.
We hate being hurdlers because we're always in the way. Because we need a lane, and we can't like change lanes all of a sudden.
Just
so
add an extra few lanes to the track and just have like
hurdle
hurdles.
lanes.
Just have hurdles there.
yeah.
All right. I think we'll do one more question. Knowing what you know now about your life and how everything's gone and what you've done, what advice would you give 10-year-old Sally?
I think to enjoy the process a bit more. I felt like there was a big period in my career and in my life that I didn't enjoy it because it was a job, and I didn't soak up as much of the atmosphere, the comp vibe, the training vibe. The fact that I was an international athlete, the best in the world, traveling the world, going to all these amazing places, I didn't take advantage of it.
And was that because you was just so focused on winning?
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I loved racing, I loved winning, but there's so much more to that. So enjoying getting to know other athletes, making more friends, but I must admit, as much as I probably don't come across it, I am a very shy person when I'm around new people. Yeah. So for me, we're not in these countries for very long. We're in there for like a day and a half max, 2 days. And for me to be able to put myself out there and just introduce myself to other people or other athletes is quite hard for me as well. So I've always made that a bit of an effort later on in my career and life is to just put my hand out and shake the hand, say hi, I'm Sally. Yeah. And that's out of my comfort zone. Yeah. So I think that's what I would probably tell my younger self, is just to enjoy that experience a bit more and be a bit more comfortable in my surroundings.
That's really cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. It's been really, really cool.
We did have other questions to ask, but we might get you in for a part 2 sometime if you fancy.
I'm happy. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good. Awesome.
Right.
Thanks, guys.
She's so cool. She's
really good to speak to.
She's a cool chick. Yeah.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say chick. Some people don't like it, but she's awesome.
She's awesome.
She wouldn't care.
No, I'm sure she wouldn't. Anyway.
All
right. So what are we going to be talking about in the rest of the show?
No, well, let's hit the button and see.
Let's do it.
Like 2 cripples using a beach towel to skydive. This could go anywhere. Welcome to the Soapbox Session. What was I drinking or what was I smoking when I came up with that? Like two cripples using a beach towel to skydive.
It's kind of perfect though, really.
Oh,
it could go anywhere.
It's kind of right up our alley,
Yeah,
I think.
it
But
really
yeah, I don't know. That's pretty fucked up even for me.
Oh,
to be
you
honest.
reckon?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've heard you say many more fucked up things. I know. I'm pretty sure I wet myself last night over something you said. I mean, not literally. That'd be
What
kind of
was-
weird.
yeah,
I
would be a
can't
bit-
remember what it was, but it was very fucked up.
It wasn't about my taxidermied.
Oh yeah, maybe it was.
Maybe, was it a? Yeah, okay. I'm gonna post that. I'm not gonna spill
Yeah,
beans now, but
we'll talk about that in the next episode, maybe.
Yeah, post that to the So soapbox session. Have you seen on? I think it's on the ABC. There's a new show that's coming out, or it's started, or it's about to start, and it's about disabled people dating.
No, but you have told me about it, so I'm really interested to hear a little bit more.
I just saw it. So I think that it looks like a cool show and all that sort of stuff. And it's there's I think there's some people with intellectual disabilities on there, and all sorts of different things and stuff. But yeah, I thought that was worth a conversation on the soapbox today.
Okay, so is it people with disabilities dating other people with disabilities?
Yes.
Okay, and is it like a documentary style one, or is it like a maths style one where they're trying to set them up with each other? Do you know?
I think they get picked for each other, and then they
Okay.
get sent on.
Sent out on dates.
I've not watched it,
Yeah.
so I don't know. So please
if
don't.
if anyone out there does know, let us know.
Please don't
'cause
shoot me down if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it? On that, I mean, without seeing it, without watching it, but we know the general premise of the idea.
I'm very much in two minds about this.
Yeah.
So I get that there's a lot of shows in the able-bodied community that are similar, where they're setting people up on dates, they're helping people to find love and all that kind of stuff, which on the outside is lovely. It's a lovely concept. You want people to be happy. You want people to find love.
Yep.
That's people in general. The problem is once you bring a concept like this to, why are you bobbing along? What is going on in your head that you're bobbing?
I don't know. I was falling
just
off.
wondering.
I was actually I was kind of leaned too far over and was about to fall off. So,
You bobbed back.
I just made it look like I was dancing.
Okay. Anyway, so when you're talking about people with disabilities and you're doing a similar kind of show, the problem you may have and they may find is that it actually turns into inspiration porn.
Yeah.
And this is the issue I have with it. And inspiration porn, it's that, nice fuzzy stuff that makes the able-bodied people feel good about themselves. Oh, my life isn't that bad. Oh, isn't that sweet? Those poor little cripples are finding love.
Yeah,
that kind of thing. And I'm so in two minds about it, because I think everybody deserves to find love. Everybody deserves to be happy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like there may be a lot of people watching it for the same reasons, for the wrong reasons even.
I'm with you. I think, I think everyone deserves to find love, and everyone, whether disability, no disability, black, white, green, purple, pink with yellow polka dots, doesn't matter. Everyone deserves to find love. I just don't. I'm not entirely sure I'm comfortable with a show being made purely just about people with disabilities, like as the focus.
Yeah.
Like it just seems a little bit circusy to me. I don't know if that's the right word, but it seems a little bit sideshowy, circusy.
Yeah, I don't know if you should be talking about sideshow freaks when you're talking about.
Not sideshow freaks. No, that's not what I was talking
Yeah,
about.
I know. I'm just
Sorry.
joking.
We'll cut that bit out. I didn't mean it like that. No, it seems like it's just where does it go? Like, it shouldn't even be a public interest thing. Yeah, really. I don't think it even fits into that category.
I think I'd have less of a problem with it if they had interabled couples.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like there's going to be people there watching it, getting the warm and fuzzies purely because it's disabled people finding love, like it's some kind of big deal.
Yeah.
There's those extra nuances that you don't get in an able-bodied dating show.
Yeah.
And it kind of breeds that whole stereotypical thing that people with disabilities struggle to find love. And
Yeah.
also, I worry there'd be some gawking at it and people being. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, we've got a friend of ours who has founded a dating app for people with disabilities, which I think is a fantastic thing because, you know, I think, you know, there's a lot of, you know, preconceived ideas about people with disabilities and, you know, I think that's a great thing. But yeah, I just think out in the public domain, like it's
making a TV show out of it for entertainment value. That's why I asked whether it was more of a documentary or you know, a dating kind of show, because as a doco, maybe it's more of an awareness thing, but as an entertainment show, that I feel like it's possibly there for the wrong reason. But
well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to watch it. You might want to watch it too. And maybe it's something we can come back to on our next episode or the episode after. And now, once we've actually watched an episode, maybe shoot the breeze about it.
Maybe we should have thought about that before using it for this episode.
No,
no, I know. I still think that our thoughts will be the same regardless.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I've got pretty strong feelings on this one.
Fair enough.
But for those of you watching and listening, really love to hear your thoughts on this and whether you're a person with disability or not, you know people with disabilities, you've got family, whatever. We would love to hear your personal perspective on it.
100%.
So drop it in the comments, send us a DM. DM. Keep getting in trouble because
it's a DM because we only have it on Insta. So
yeah. Okay. Drop us a DM. I keep saying DM or message or whatever, and you keep getting mad at me. So
okay, but I think that whole thing actually leads perfectly into our next segment.
Yes, I agree.
Yes,
it does. All right.
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna hit the button.
Do it.
I'm doing it.
Can you reach it?
If I can reach it.
It sure does. Oh, come on. Dude.
My eyes were failing me.
It's the moron of the day.
What are you laughing at?
I'm like pointing at you and you're not even noticing.
No, I noticed. I just choose to ignore it now. So, moron of the day today is a lady I happened to come across. It was a few months ago now, but I've just been looking for an opportunity to talk about this because it
kind of fits perfectly with our last topic, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I was picking up some stuff from a disability supply place. And it's a volunteer organisation, which I think is amazing because I love volunteers. I think people who volunteer their own time to do things are amazing people.
Yes.
So let me preface this by saying that. But this is run by volunteers generally of the older generation.
Yes.
And anyway, so I've gone to pick up my stuff. And we got small talking a little bit. And she saw my wedding ring on my finger, which I haven't got on at the moment because I was at iFly and didn't put it back on. So yes, I am married. I just don't have it on at the moment.
Yeah, or have you just looked down at your finger and gone, "Oh, holy shit, where's my ring gone?"
Oh no, I was out for dinner the other night with Christy, and I'm like, "Oh shit, my wedding ring's not there." I have got it still. I promise. It's just in the car. I had to take it off for iFly. I'm sorry. Hello, iFly.
Oh my god.
But anyway, she noticed my wedding ring, this lady, and she's like, "Oh, you're married," and
what? Somebody would have you?
Yeah,
no, I'm
I know.
joking.
And she's like, "Oh, you're married," and I said, "Yeah, we've been married for however many years it was. It's 12, coming up on 12." And she said, "Oh, aren't you lucky she's stuck by you?"
Because you're such a burden.
Yeah. And I'm like, in my head, I'm going, "Are you fucking kidding me?" But, notwithstanding the fact that this lady was about 400. So I didn't want to, come down on it too hard. But I was like, well, yeah.
Fuck me.
I've been disabled my whole life, so she knew what she was getting herself in for.
Did she though? Poor bugger.
Yeah, probably not. No, probably not. I mean, then there's disabled people, and then
there's you.
Then there's me.
I mean, at the end of the day, you did go out and purposely make yourself more disabled.
I did. I cut my fucking legs off. It's great. No, I was going to say more people. No, don't do it. Don't do it unless you need to.
Anyway, people, guys, that whole attitude, that lady, the whole attitude that people with disabilities are a burden to their partners, we bring a lot to the table as well.
It's a very, and I mean, granted, she was an old lady, and we do find in society that older people
tend to
have
yeah, because they've had those biased views pushed on them their whole lives.
100%.
So, yeah, and that happens. However, you still find it with some younger people as well, and you do find it in society in general, and it can be a little bit of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
We are not a burden to anyone.
Mm-hmm. No.
I might burden you constantly, but
little bit.
That's a different story.
But I stick around, so
yeah, that's because I force you to.
I think we burden each other.
Yeah, I think we freaking do.
I mean, I think we give each other shit anyway. So
yeah, this is true.
It's how we true. It's just how we deal with the pain.
But there are plenty of reasons why you would be in a relationship with somebody with a disability, just like you would be with somebody that's able-bodied. Love knows no boundaries. It's just stupid. Oh, was that?
That was very philosophical of you.
Yeah, I'm usually like the whole love thing. Bleh, bleh.
Well, let me do that in the microphone because it sounds real. Love knows no boundaries.
I'm worried about you. Hey,
okay,
you're a bit of a creepy motherfucker, aren't you?
Yes,
Just
I
saying.
am. And proud of it. But anyway, yeah, that was my moron of the day. I mean, I feel bad in saying that, but I kind of don't. But
no,
people
need to know. Fuck my life.
Oh, she stuck by you. If I...
To be fair, I mean, I think she was spot on.
Yeah. She was either that or bloody intuitive, considering she doesn't know me. All right. Should we move on from that?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Going from one person saying a wrong thing to another.
Yes. All right. This one's going to be fun.
Social media
I need some new dance moves because I do like the same dance every time.
Oh, at least you're not doing the robot, which is also your general.
Oh yeah, I do the robot, don't I? Yeah,
constantly.
I'll do that in the next one.
I know. Okay. Today's social media takedown. I know we talk about this kind of weird shit a lot, but
that's because you get all the creepy motherfuckers.
Because I get a lot of it.
You get the creepy motherfuckers.
So anyone that follows me on socials will know that a few days back I had a message from someone. Can you remember exactly what it said, Adam?
It basically, I don't know if these all come from the same person or not, but maybe they go to
that's the creepy thing. This thing came from somebody else.
Maybe they go to the creepy motherfucker school of social media or something because, it was probably. I don't mean to be inappropriate or weird, but what was it? The mole
the mole on your left foot is very sexy.
Yes.
Like what the fuck? To start with, why the hell are you on my social media zooming in on my foot that closely that you can see I have got a mole there? Oh, please don't, because that's just creeping me the fuck out. Man, for a start, I don't mean to be inappropriate. It's not inappropriate to message someone that you don't know from Adam.
I love the fact that he prefaced the sentence that he was about to say by, I don't mean to be creepy. So he full well knew he was being creepy.
Here we go. Here's the message. With all due respect, I really like the mole on the sole of your left foot. It's very sexy.
With all due respect.
With all due respect. Where? Like, where? Well, like, meh. So, like, this goes back to this whole thing. Like, maybe I should be starting some kind of weird OnlyFans account where I'm making myself some money from this shit, because
my sister had what'd she say? Only feet.
Only feet.
maybe there's an idea in
yeah,
that.
maybe there is. Like, your lack of feet and my mole on my foot. I wanted to say to the dude, look, if you look at my right foot, there's that many rolls there. Moles, that many
rolls. You got rolls on your feet. You got
That's
issues.
a problem, I know, right? There's that many moles there that you could do fucking dot to dot. There's something fun for you.
Only feet. Maybe, young Brett McCallum and the awesome team here at Podfire know how to do shit. Maybe that's something we need to get them involved with.
An Only Feets account.
Only feet.
I reckon we can start some kind of weird cripple
And we'll have an
fantasy
offshoot
website.
of McStumpson.
Stumpy McStumpson.
Stumpy McStumpson.
with all the weird fetish people wanting a stumping from you.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't use my real name. I'd just call myself Stumpy McStumpson or something like that.
What did I call you last night? No, I can't remember, but it was funny. I can be a funny motherfucker when I want to.
You can be, except you don't remember when you say funny shit.
I don't remember. I have. But anyway, yes. Like, why do I keep getting all these fucked up messages of people wanting me to sell pictures of feet, wanting to go traveling so they can take pictures of my feet, telling me that I have sexy moles on my feet? Like, what is sexy about a mole on a foot?
I think you should do it.
Start up an OnlyFans account?
I think hey, look, if you can make some money, why not?
This is true. I
I
mean,
mean,
it'd be a
it's
good side hustle.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I know, but I don't want to think about somebody with some picture over their bed jacking off to pictures of my feet. Come on, let's.
You're only saying that because that's exactly the picture I put in your head the other day.
I know, right?
I'm like, you should say to him,
like, creeps me the hell out.
I'm like, $2,000, the photo is yours. Here you go.
Please never contact me again. Oh God.
This sale comes with the
clause
that it's never spoken of again, and you never contact me again.
I'm like, oh God, I'm so done with some of these creepy messages, I tell you. So, and the worst thing is, like, so many of them get really offended when you ignore them.
Yeah.
It's like, well, there's a reason why I'm ignoring you. There's something seriously wrong with you. Yeah. Anyway, I've had people say to me before about that foot. Yeah. It's just, I don't know why, but apparently it's some kind of sexual pin-up. Most women need to get their breasts out to be a pin-up. No, I just have to get out the mole on my left foot.
Yeah. maybe that's. I reckon side hustle. Like, I could do my stumps and pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
And you can do feet.
What about feet touching stumps? I reckon there'd be some kind of weird video we could make of me slapping my feet on your stumps.
You often say to me, "What's wrong with me? What's wrong with you?
What the fuck is wrong with you?" Hey, I reckon we could make some really good money out of that. It's a new version of crip porn.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
We're running out of time, so we better keep moving.
Yeah, let's get this last segment done.
All right.
The kindness virus.
I don't dance to that one very well.
No, it's not a very dancey one, unless you want to do the whole, what's that called? Zombie.
Can't even do it properly.
No.
Yeah.
All right, tell me about your experience and what you're talking about this time.
All right, so I had the unfortunate experience of having to take my young fella, Fletch, to the hospital the other day. It was just for precautionary reasons. He was okay, but really quickly he fell over at school, and because he hadn't tied his shoelaces.
Oh, you didn't tell me that bit.
Like every fucking 6-year-old on the face of the earth, hadn't tied his shoelaces, fell hard on both his knees on the concrete at school.
And I bet you were a really good advisor for that
I was
one.
like, I was like, mate, if I had knees, I'd give them to you. But anyway, so that happened. Thinking about it, we think it happened about 1 o'clock. I picked him up at 3ish. So he picked him up, and his knees looked quite red. They were a little bit grazed, but not too bad. But they looked quite red, and one seemed quite swollen.
Poor wee man, and he's only 6.
He's only 6,
yeah.
and he got in the car, and he was quite emotional about it. And he was like, "Dad, my knees are really sore." And I talked to him about what happened, and you're right there. You're going to sneeze on me.
I'm going to sneeze, but it's kind of just sitting there, but not carry on.
Good job. And anyway, we got home, and I said to him, "Let's put some ice on it, and that should help." And flatly refused, would not let me come near him with ice.
Aww.
Wouldn't happen.
I probably wouldn't let you come anywhere near me either.
I'd just throw the ice at you.
That's probably true. Knock
True
me
that.
out.
Yeah. And so we sat there for a while, and he's like, "Dad, they're really sore," and he was going on about it, which for him is pretty unusual. Like, he'll hurt himself, and he'll have a bit of a cry, or he'll go on about it for a little bit. But he was going on it, so I thought, you know what, let's just do the precautionary thing. Let's get him to the hospital, get him to look at it. So anyway, long story longer.
Short.
Yeah, I'm making this longer.
I
than
know.
it needs to be.
You're not good at thinking, keeping things short.
I'm not. No, you keep telling me I talk too much. So.
You don't talk too much.
So anyway, we got to the hospital, and my kindness for us today is for an awesome nurse who was the first nurse to take a look at him. Her name was Brooke.
Hey, Brooke.
Hey, Brooke, at the Gold Coast University Hospital, who was doing triage in the kids' ED.
Mm-hmm.
She was awesome with him. She was like, and because Fletcher's out there, but when he first meets someone, he's
very shy.
He's pretty shut down.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk,
Yeah.
And you could see it with her. It was kind of like, I'm going to get this kid talking, like it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And he did, and eventually he did. But she was so good with him. And it was really, really good. So
I think it takes a special kind of human to work in a children's ward or be a pediatric nurse or whatever, because you don't just need your general nursing skills, you also need the ability to win these kids over, and that is not an easy thing to do with children.
Absolutely not.
They need to trust you to open up to you, and and sometimes when they're young they can't really explain what the issue is. So it's
she was just great. She just had an easygoing way. She was fun with him. As it turned out, he was fine. And do you know what? I don't think nurses get enough respect for the jobs they do. It's fucking hard. Absolutely.
They work ridiculous hours for very little pay, and have the weight of the world on their shoulders, and get people speaking to them like absolute shit. And I just think as much as yes, it was her job to look after Fletcher, it's very, very different when you can tell that somebody really cares and really, really wants to help. You
can do your job, and then you can do your job in a way that is a way that somebody knows that you're there for the right reasons, and you freaking love what you do,
and you're making a difference for that person.
Absolutely.
You can go to work every day and just and do things adequately and get your job done, but to actually go out every day and really touch someone, not in a physical way, because that would be a little bit
really
I don't think you'd be keeping your job then.
You
might find that you're not going back to work the next day and maybe ending up in jail, but touch somebody emotionally and make a really big difference to them. So thanks to Brooke.
Thank you, Brooke,
for being kind and making a difference.
If you're watching, hopefully you are. You're a bloody legend, and you are by two parents who were a little concerned that their kid had cracked something. You're awesome.
Yes,
thank you.
And thank you to all the nurses out there that go out every single day and put up with people's bullshit and really do keep the hospital system going, and that's actually what they do. Absolutely, some of my favourite people in the world, nurses. You're amazing. Yeah, anyway, right, I think that is us for the day.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. We actually got through things in our allotted time of an hour 15 minutes.
1:15.
Go us.
I know. Rock
High
and roll.
five. That is something that never happens. If you guys are regulars, you will know by now that we tend to go on a little bit sometimes.
Apparently, I talk too much.
Oh, you've just said that.
I know, but I keep getting told, so I'm going to keep saying
you
it.
don't talk too much.
You talk too much. You don't know how to end a
You
conversation.
don't know how to end a conversation. You get to the end of a conversation and you ask another question.
I am the team's public relations manager.
Which is fantastic, except when you're in a rush to get somewhere.
Yeah, fair
Anyway,
point.
guys.
Anyway.
On the next episode, have we got anything sorted? Is it you interviewing me on the next one?
Yeah, I believe it is.
I believe it is.
Yeah.
So you're going to be getting payback for my interview with you last week. Oh, shit. What have I got myself into?
Trust me, I have a list of shit on my phone of stuff that I'm going to give you shit about. So,
yes.
So don't forget, if you like what you've seen, heard, get on, subscribe to the podcast, like it. If you've got any questions, if we've talked about something that's you've liked, something you've hated, drop us a message.
Do it.
Yep.
And we will catch you next time, people. Have a great week.
Peace.
Bye. Well, that's a wrap for this week's episode of Two Cripples, One Pair of Legs. As always, we'd like to thank our studio guests for joining us, and of course to the legends at Podfire for making all of this come to life. If you like what you've heard, or even if we've offended the shit out of you, but you still want to hear more, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also check out our Insta page, twocrips.onepairoflegs, and you'll be the first to know when a new episode drops.